$799 for an Apple Watch Ultra that fundamentally does everything that the $249 Apple Watch SE does. Do I have regrets? Yes and no. Now, Apple does a great job of making you think you need whatever it is that they're selling, and it doesn't help that the cinematography nerd in me loves watching their keynotes because there is always an amazing transition or some really cool set design to look at. But the Apple Watch is really one product that I never really get FOMO with because I only ever use it one way. Normally I upgrade every 2 to 3 years, and I started with the first Apple Watch and then I upgraded to the Series 3 for cellular connectivity, and then I went to the Series 6 because my Series 3 was actually feeling really slow and the battery life wasn't lasting a day, and now I have the Ultra. I guess the same can really be said about the phone. There's really small upgrades every year, but if the phone's camera hardware is improved, then I can really see myself benefiting from that, but not really so much from a new watch color or a slightly faster processor just to tell the time. But this year, there were a few things that really sold me. Design is completely subjective, and I'll admit when I first saw the leaks, I was kind of turned off by the side nub, but it quickly grew on me after seeing the hands-on videos. And unlike everyone else out there in the world, I was actually not turned off by the size of the Ultra, because if you don't know by now, I'm 6'8" with matching man-sized wrists, and I was actually excited because it felt like there would be a new Apple Watch that would look normal on me. It wouldn't look small or dinky, it actually would match me. It also doesn't hurt that it's a little more ruggedized. I mean, in the past, I would always go with the stainless steel version of the Apple Watch because it has a sapphire display, and I never really had any issues with scratches or cracks on the front glass. But after a beach day, I would notice that the digital crown felt a little more gritty because of the sand getting in between the seams of the button. And I don't know if that will hold up the same with the Ultra. I mean, I hope so after looking at all their advertising, you know, them climbing up mountains and then, you know, Dubai and desert storms. I hope that it can withstand a simple beach day with my daughter. Up until now, every Apple Watch that I've owned has honestly had the same exact design, you know, rounded screen, rounded corners, just slightly bigger. And just having something that looks different actually feels good. I will say that none of my current Apple Watch bands truly fit. I'm able to slide them into the Ultra and they click in place, but there is a slight gap on either side where the band meets the watch, and it's nitpicky, but I can't deal with it. The OCD in me doesn't like it. One feature that may not be as prominent to you if you're coming from one of the newer watches like the Series 7 is the larger flat display, and emphasis on flat. It's only a little added screen real estate from the Series 7 Apple Watch, but since I'm coming from the Series 6, it's something that really jumped out to me. Having a bigger screen really benefits me for text messages and having access to that full screen keyboard. Swipe is really good, typing on the keyboard is really nice, and it inspires more confidence for leaving my phone at home, and it feels more like it could be a standalone device, if that makes sense. The other big factor that really improves the experience is the flat display. Now, I'm a fan of flat displays on watches and phones, and thinking back, curved displays have always really been just for vanity and aesthetics. I even remember using old Samsung phones like the Note Edge and really never ever using the screen features. I hope more and more manufacturers really start to realize that curved displays are dated and they don't really offer too much functionality. The flat edge on the Apple Watch paired with the raised lip also gives you a little bit more durability. Now, like I said, I'm not doing anything too crazy that requires more durability, but when I have the occasional hit against the door frame, I'm less concerned about it cracking my screen. Aesthetically, the flat display just looks better in my opinion as well. And to be honest, I've never really been a fan of the Apple Watch designs in the past, like especially the shape of the screen. I've always thought that round screens look better, like on the Galaxy watches. They just look like traditional timepieces. But now when I look down at my Apple Watch, I'm pleased with what I see. Like it's not round, but the flat screen makes it look a lot better. Better battery life. Now, this is one feature that really set me over the edge and made me pre-order the Apple Watch Ultra. Better battery life is always promised every single year, but this year I've actually noticed the gains with the Apple Watch Ultra. In the past, I could go probably one day comfortably with my Series 6, but sleep tracking overnight was kind of out of the question. Either the watch would be dead in the middle of the night and stop tracking my sleep, or it would be on life support by the time I woke up and I had to charge it right away. Now I can go 2 to 3 days without worrying about my watch dying. Now, to be honest, typically I charge it halfway through day 2 when I'm in the shower or editing a video, but not having battery anxiety is something that I honestly need and want on more of my devices. Apple's also going to be releasing a new low battery mode that's going to extend the battery life even further, but who really knows what sensors that's going to deactivate and what limitations that's going to bring. My hope is that it can still track sleep and just sip on the battery life, letting me go maybe 3 to 4 days on one charge, but who knows. Right now, if you put your watch into low power mode, the watch turns off heart rate and blood oxygen tracking in the background, so you lose that comprehensive data that you need for REM, deep and core sleep tracking. But hopefully this new power mode doesn't do that. Now, although I don't plan on going crazy with my activities like skydiving and base jumping, it is nice knowing that my watch is able to keep up with me if I decide to expand my horizons. You know, I'm getting outdoorsy now. You never know. I may want to get scuba certified one day, or at least go snorkeling or something, and it's cool to know that my watch has a higher ceiling. Now, like I said earlier, I normally go with the stainless steel version of the Apple Watch, so price isn't really where my regrets lie, because I end up spending like pretty close to that and get significantly less features. My regret creeps in when it comes to the watch band options and how long this watch will be considered ultra. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of any of the watch bands that come with the Apple Watch Ultra. I only got this Alpine Loop or whatever they call this because it was the quickest shipping option. I'm not mad at the color and the material, but I don't really like how it fastens. And again, it's probably meant for some dude that's freehand climbing the face of a mountain, but for me, it's a little clunky to take on and off. Also, I like to have a nice little metal band to dress up the watch, but none of my current bands really fit seamlessly, like I said earlier. And many of the titanium band options online are either back ordered or the colors don't match completely. So hopefully there's more band manufacturers out there that make really good titanium bands that aren't an arm and a leg, because most of the ones I've seen are going to be like $200 and higher for true titanium bands. And you may be saying to yourself while watching this video, hey, this is a piece of technology. You should be thinking of function over form. But I would say you're wrong. This is jewelry and it needs to look like it. Like, I need to be able to dress this up. It needs to have options. I need to be able to put a suit on with this, go to a wedding, and I need to work out with it. And I want it to evolve and move with me throughout my life. Now, the other side of this regret coin is that there is a new Apple Watch every single year. And like I said, I typically don't get FOMO when it comes to these watches. But if they keep bringing major quality of life enhancements to the Ultra line exclusively, like better battery life gains, like serious battery life gains, or a new sensor that's going to track like some cool health feature, and reserving it only for the Ultra line, that may change my mind in the future. And I'm not going to be paying $800 every single year for an Apple Watch, and I don't think people that are truly in this demographic for the Apple Watch Ultra upgrade their Garmin's every year. So Apple needs to make more advancements through software and not so much through hardware. Literally right before filming this video, I just dropped off my Series 6 for trade-in. I took it to UPS and shipped it back to Apple for the meager $150, $125 trade-in value that they gave me, which that's a whole nother video. We gotta talk about that. Like, these Apple Watches do not hold their value back to Apple. I feel like they give great trade-in value for the phones, but not so much for the watches. But I'm an Ultra boy for now, and to be honest, I'm really happy with my purchase. The Apple Watch Ultra has finally delivered on everything that I've always wanted the Apple Watch to be since the Series 0 that I had back in the day. Better battery life, larger flat display were the two biggest features that pushed me over the edge, and this may be my favorite Apple product in recent years. The other one up there probably is the new iPad Pro that came out last year, but yeah, I'd recommend the Apple Watch Ultra if you want a watch that'll last you a few days and that looks way better than the normal Apple Watch. But that's about it for me, guys. I appreciate you as usual. If you made it this far into the video, salute. You guys are the best. Thank you for commenting, liking, subscribing, and all the good stuff. If you like this video and you want to see many more like it, feel free to hit that subscribe button, notification bell, personalized to all notifications. I need you to know whenever I upload a video because I want to talk to you guys about this. I'll be down in the comment section replying to all your comments. Let me know what you guys think about the Apple Watch Ultra, if you have one pre-ordered, when they come back in stock. If you have one, if you like it, what are some of the things that you've done with it? If you aren't just a regular guy and you actually do all that crazy stuff, I want to hear from you especially. But if you are a regular guy or a regular woman and you have an Apple Watch Ultra, especially women, how do you guys feel about the Apple Watch Ultra? Because on me, it looks normal, but on a woman's wrist, I can imagine it looks pretty crazy. I haven't put this on my wife, but I might, just to see how crazy it looks. But yeah, do you want a smaller Apple Watch Ultra in the future? I would really like different colors, maybe like a black titanium. That would be awesome. But yeah, it's been a pleasure as usual, guys. Thank you for watching, and until next time, stay fresh.